Good morning. Everybody come on in, have a seat. Good morning, and welcome to our service for Sunday, June 8th, 2025. And welcome to our beloved online community. Thank you for joining us today as we grow in spirit together. We would love to connect with you, so please reach out to us in person or online. Today, Reverend John presents his June Talk series on spiritual evolution with a lesson entitled Divine Disorder. Now, let's stand and join Julie Reagans, Curtis Brangle, Carl Loshavio, and Bruce Wayne as we sing our welcome song.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just want to let you guys know, this is an Eddie Watkins song. And Eddie is coming to Unity of Wimberley in July. So don't miss it. Here we go. Anything is possible when you believe. I said anything is possible when you believe. They can make a mountain move when you believe. Yeah, yeah. They can make a mountain move when you believe. Don't you know that you can change your life when you believe? Yeah, when you believe, yeah. Know that you can change your life when you believe in yourself. 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 You're gonna make a miracle when you believe. You're gonna make a miracle when you believe. Everything you want, you got when you believe. When you believe. Everything you want, you got when you believe in yourself. 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 Oh, I believe in me. I believe in you. Yes, I do. We believe in each other. There ain't nothing we can't do.
Awesome.
Please join me as we affirm our statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And now let us unite our spirits as we hold this vision for our church. Together, we are an open-hearted spiritual community, powerfully transforming our world by honoring the sacred in all. And we practice this mission together. Inspired by our shared spiritual awakening, we offer practical teachings that empower healthy, abundant, and meaningful living. Today's daily word is kindness. Today, I will be kind to others. When I think of being kind, I'm reminded of the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It takes only a moment and no special effort to be kind. I can smile at a stranger, hold the door of the person behind me, or let someone go ahead of me in line. These small acts of kindness bless everyone involved. Other kind efforts may take more thought. I think of how I prefer to be treated. I certainly want to be heard and respected. I want to know my views and opinions matter. I want others to see my value and treat me with dignity. I hold this thought as I think of others. I see people imbued with the Spirit of God. Kindness flows from me to bless others. And from Proverbs 21:21, whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life and honor. Now our gathering prayer with Cecilia Timon.
Good morning. Let's take a moment to center ourselves. Maybe that would be your feet on the ground or a deep breath. I feel the inspiration, which is spirit, and know that spirit, divine love, divine spirit is within you. Each and every breath you take, and that same divine spirit is among us and around us at all times. And today we are open. We are open to a new idea. That love that moves around in between each and every one of us and within us is the sign that we are open and ready to hear something new, something that helps us along our path. We are guided. We are guided by divine order that comes to us at the most unexpected moments and in the most unexpected ways. And we are grateful that we have the opportunity to be able to understand or try to understand and hear what needs to be heard and listen to what needs to be brought to us. And we appreciate each and every one in our way, in our life, who helps us along the way. And so it is.
You see a brother standing by the road with a heavy load on the seeds he sowed. You see your sister falling by the way. Just stop and say, you're going the wrong way. You've got to try a little kindness. Yes, sure.
I was kind of getting into it there for a minute. I was hoping you'd keep going for a while. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. So great to see you out there this morning. Dog days of summer are on us, aren't they? Here they are. And we're looking at spiritual evolutionary this month, the evolution of spirit. But I got to be honest, I got to make a confession before we get started. You know, Aida, where's she? There she is. She likes for me to get the topics in on time, right? And I tend to want to put them in at the last moment and change them, and Sue knows I'm changing slides at the last moment. So I had scheduled to talk about divine order today. And then next Sunday, I'm talking about the Father and I are one. And I thought, and when I sent it to her, I thought, divine order. There's been so much said, so much talked about as far as divine order. I changed it and I said, okay, I'm going to talk about divine disorder. And let's see where we go. So it's been a heck of a week for me trying to fit all the pieces. I've gone from really, really deep to really, really shallow. So if you would, maybe hold my hand a little bit, or I'll hold your hand this morning as we go through this. But I think, I've turned up something I think that's important in our spiritual evolution. Because we tend to, especially I think in unity, we tend to kind of want everything to be in divine order, and we want these affirmations to work, and we want our prayers, and our prayers do work, of course. We want things to flow smoothly, and so sometimes when they're not, we sometimes will tend to do a little introspection and say, what am I doing wrong? What could I have done better so that this would have worked out in a different way, in a higher and in a better way for everybody involved? And so what I've come to believe, and the premise this morning is that there is disorder in every aspect of life, in our universe and in our personal lives and in the world. And so learning to adjust to the disorder, learning not to be afraid of disorder, learning not to resist it and to think of it as something that's not going right. It's really quite enlivening to be able to bring it into the fold, to welcome disorder into your life, to welcome things that are not always the way you think they should be into our lives, and to know it's part of the evolutionary plan. Now take a look at our universe. Now it may appear that our universe is getting smaller because we can know more and more about it, right? We can see it more clearly with these huge telescopes, blah, 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 blah. However, the area where the universe is really evolving is in its dark matter. And I know you read something about dark matter, right? Some of us. And it's mysterious. They don't understand it, but it takes up a huge portion of the universe. And now scientists have come to believe that it's through this dark matter that the universe is expanding. It's not through the light, it's through this dark area that it's expanding. And so then I thought, well, what about our planet? Planet Earth. Okay, planet Earth. Planet Earth is 70% water, right? 70% water, 70% ocean. We know less about the ocean than we do outer space, don't we? I mean, they just don't have the facilities to really research the depths of our ocean. There's so much mystery in our ocean. And then I said, okay, let's bring it down even further. Let's look at ourselves. Let's look at our personal lives, our beingness, our psyche. And what I've come to believe is that we know a great deal about what we want, what we like, what kind of work we want to do, what church we want to go to, what clothes we like to wear, but we know very little about our subconscious minds. Carl Jung did a lot of research and did a lot of study about the subconscious mind, but we're just starting to understand how the subconscious mind works and how it drives us. And we know that we have this shadow self within us. And we've talked about this before. The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, the book by Debbie Ford. And learning to appreciate that dark side within us, becoming friends with that, allowing that to be rather than resisting it, trying to fix it. So I'm wondering don't a lot of our control habits, our control mechanisms come from not being comfortable and wanting to change things. And who was it, the poet Rudyard Kipling, that said, if we can meet triumph and disaster and treat those both the same. I don't know about you. I can welcome triumph, but disaster, no. I'm going around fixing things. There's a plant in my office this morning, and one leaf of it is drooping. I want to go over and pluck it. And I resisted it this morning. I wanted to go over and I want everything to look perfect. And that's why I think being in nature is so important. And to see the fallen trees, and not to go in and have to remove the fallen trees, the trees that are dead, the bushes that are dead, and to just appreciate them as the full landscape. Come on up. So I kind of built this talk, this lesson this morning around Van Gogh, and really a special person. And last month was Mental Awareness Month, so maybe we should have done this in May, but I want to talk about Vincent a little bit, and then I'm going to conclude later with his song, Vincent, and then the band's actually going to sing it during the offertory. So here was an interesting gentleman. And so he was kind of a shy guy, grew up insecure, and he joined a mission because he felt like religion would help him with his depression. It would pull him out of his depression. And so he went and was a missionary for a while, and that didn't work. And so then he left mission and came and started an art colony and began experimenting with colors and bye-bye, have a good time, come back when you're... And so he started experimenting with colors. And where I'm going with this is that he had this gift, as we all know. And he had this light within him, like you and I do, and he couldn't quite figure out how to get it out. And that's where I think he turned to painting. He painted over 2,100. He made over 2,100 paintings over his lifetime, most of them in the last couple of years of his life. A lot of the time he was in and out of mental hospitals. He had brought a friend in to live with him in this colony, and they got in a big argument. He had trouble in personal relationships. That's where the thing about the ear, where he got his ear cut in this argument. And so he had this light within, and he began to show that light in some of his artwork. And you could see it particularly around trees and bushes. It's almost like they had their own light. See, now this painting is the sower. Now, where did he get that? So he was this religious guy. So where did he get the idea for the sower? And you see the sun in the background, and then the sower sowing the seeds, and we'll read that verse in a minute. But he's out here sowing these seeds. So what the interpretation is that is the Christ sowing those seeds. It's you and me sowing these seeds. And some of them are random. Some of them don't hit good soil. Some of them don't take root in good soil. But that sun in the background is Spirit, is God. God is that Spirit that's overseeing all this. So is there good? Is there love? Is there expression even in disorder and dysfunction? Van Gogh's paintings today they're the most expensive paintings that you can possibly buy. And he has a museum in Amsterdam where all of his paintings are displayed. And just this twisted individual, in a sense, with mental illness, struggling to allow his light out, and it just erupted in his painting. And that's what made him such a success in his artwork. It just blew through the limitations that you and I might have and came out in his artwork. So yes, even in disorder, even in things that are disarrayed, even in situations that seem almost impossible, someone who could barely function and at times didn't take very good care of himself and abused alcohol, still was able to have this explosion of light come through him and onto the canvas. So what does that mean for you and me? It means that when we find ourselves faced with disorder, when we find ourselves up against something that is very uncomfortable, what can we do? What can we do? And I don't know about you, but I've always wanted to kind of fix it. I've always kind of wanted to make it better so that it looks better for other people to see, so that when they see it, they'll think I'm cool, right? And that I got my stuff together, right? So I fix everything on the outside, trying to fix the inside, trying to make the inside okay. Trying to say, okay, the inside's okay because everything out here looks great. And you see it, and I guess I kind of a little sarcastic when I see a house and I see, 2 Porsches in the driveway and the yard's manicured, and, all the boats in the garage and all this stuff is just perfect. The fashion's perfect. And then, the kids are seeing psychiatrists in that family, or what have you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you need help, you need help. I'm not saying anything about that. But I think it's coming to terms with this darkness, this shadow within ourselves that allows us to really evolve spiritually. Because that's what we're talking about this month, is our spiritual evolution. And we're sort of on this path, this evolutionary path. And a lot of us are not aware that we're in a system of evolution. We think that things are kind of stagnant in a sense, or things are still, or things are, whatever step I take next will take me to the next level. No, not true. Evolution doesn't work that way. It can work in a disorderly function as well. Evolution can be disorderly. And it all turns out eventually because God is expressing even in that painting that we saw of the sower. So let's read that passage in the New Testament. So there is nothing wrong with disorder. In fact, when this gentleman's out here sowing the seeds, what is he doing? He's out here, and I've always looked at this verse a little differently. I've looked at it that, okay, so this fellow's out here sowing seeds, and he throws some seeds on some soil that's not so good, and that just barely comes up, and then the sun scorches it, and he throws some seeds where there's, weeds, and it doesn't grow up, doesn't evolve. But then also some of the seeds reach good soil, and they begin to grow and manifest, and they grow 100 times. So that good soil represents our consciousness, right? It represents that consciousness within us that's ready to grow. But the thing that I've added to this story is that he was throwing these seeds randomly, this farmer. And why would he do that? Why would he not just put the seeds where the soil is good? Because I think they're trying to illustrate something greater here. That this is the way life works. It's not directly related to each step that you take in a forward path. Things happen random. You know, kids today, they say, oh, that was random, right? Don't you hear that a lot from your teenagers? Yeah, right. So, but these seeds, they were thrown out randomly, but some of them hit on good soil. So you and I can be that good soil, but we have to accept the fact of some randomness. We have to accept the fact that there will be times of conflict, there will be times of disorder in our lives. And when we can welcome that into our lives and be okay with it, and not judge it, and not judge ourselves so much, then we can move further into an understanding, an awareness of our evolution, because we are evolving, whether we want to or not. Our planet is evolving, whether we want it to or not. And we see all these things that we don't like. Maybe they're part of evolution. Maybe they're part of the evolutionary process. And when you can see things in that way, some of the things today that are extremely startling in the news, things that are upsetting, things that are distasteful, when we begin to see those in the sight, in the context of evolution, that this is an evolutionary process, and this negative stuff has to work its way out of our system until we find peace, until we find serenity, until we become who God created us to be. John Milton. Anyone know John Milton? Raise your hand, please. All right. So what did he write? Paradise Lost. Who said that? Paradise Found. Okay. Thank you. And so I ordered a copy of Paradise Lost. I couldn't read it. It is an epic poem. And it's some god-awful number of pages long. And it's written in Old English, so it's almost impossible to figure out what he's talking about. But the long and the short of the story, it's about man's fall from grace. And we want to talk about that for a moment. We want to talk about the way he depicts Satan. So Satan is the devil, but once was Lucifer. You've heard this story a million times. So Lucifer is this angel, this very powerful angel residing in heaven. In fact, he's so powerful, he thinks that he can do it on his own. And so he leaves, or he's kicked out of heaven and goes to another place that we won't talk about. Okay? And now he takes a bunch of people, a bunch of other angels with him too. So he's a pretty powerful dude. But what happened there? What was that about? And then, of course, John Milton talks in his book, Paradise Lost, about how Satan then comes back when God is creating the earth and Adam and Eve are there. And so, Satan comes back and tempts Eve with the apple. And we'll talk about that. But what happened with Satan leaving, separating, having this feud, if you would, with God and leaving and being on his own? I believe what happened was he began to feel that he could do it without God's presence. And I started looking at my own life, and I wonder, how many times a day or a week or a month do I think I can do something without God's presence, without God's direction? And it was startling. It's almost like, okay, I got this one, I got this decision, I can handle this because this is a very important decision. We're going to do this for our vacation, and sorry, God, whether you want it or not, this is what we're doing. Because I got to do this. This has to happen. This has to happen in my life. This has to happen in your, what has to happen in your life for you to be okay? And rather than, okay, thy will be done, not mine. Under your direction, under your authority, I move and have my beingness. So here we go. There's Satan doing it on his own. And he comes back and he tempts Eve to take a bite of the apple. And what does the apple represent? Yeah, I think so. That's the traditional way of looking at it, knowledge of good and evil. But I really worked with this for a long time, and where I got with it, and you may not agree, is that I believe the apple represents God. So when we take a bite of the apple and we begin to digest it, we're saying, okay, and I know this kind of departs a little bit from what unity teaches. Unity teaches that we are God. And it does say, yes, you are gods. Yes, you are. In a sense, we are gods. We have that infinite power within us of the Christ nature. But we're not God. That's my belief. Then that when we take that apple, which is God, and we try to ingest it into who we are, we're going over the ledge. We're going over the ledge rather than just admiring the apple. That's a beautiful apple. I think I'll just admire that apple. I don't have to eat it. I'll just admire it. And I know that good things are coming my way. I don't have to force it. I don't have to create it. I don't have to scream and holler when things don't go my way because I know God's in charge. And I think Lucifer began to think that he was in charge, that the ego is in charge, and the ego wants to be in charge. My goodness, of course it does. That's the nature of the ego. And it'll let you know that. Anybody have that experience? When you do something the ego doesn't like, what does it do? Yeah, it rebels, right. So here we go. So Eve takes a bite of the apple. She digests the authority of God. She takes it in and digests the authority of God. And therefore, she and Adam are separating from God rather than being one with God. But it couldn't have happened any other way. Couldn't have happened any other way because we can't know our oneness with God unless we're separate. We can't be found unless we're lost. You know the parable about the lost son? I look at that parable all the time about the son that's lost and he's out, having a great time spending all his dad's money and then he comes home and dad welcomes him. And I think about that. He was lost, but now he's found. How would he know what it's like to be found if he hadn't have been lost? How would you know order in your life if there wasn't disorder? How would you know harmony if there wasn't disharmony? And so when we begin to accept these contradictory expressions as being almost in a sense the same, then we're on a different path. We're no longer getting jerked around by life. Life stops jerking you around because now you're accepting things just as they are. Eckhart Tolle talks about it all the time. Accepting life as it is on life's terms. All the great philosophers talk about it. But you can't do that and I guess I look at myself and how many times I've tried to fix things when I think they're awry. including my own thinking, including my own behavior. Instead of saying, okay, this is part of the bigger picture. This is the picture right now. But it's changing. You know why? Because it's evolving. We talked a few weeks ago about evolutionary theology, that God's evolving right along with us. So God's evolving, the universe is evolving, the earth is evolving, and you and I are evolving along with it. You and I are becoming more. We're becoming different. We're becoming unique. We're feeling new feelings. We're feeling new ideas come to us. New expressions, new emotions that we've never experienced before, because we're not trying to resist what we don't want in our lives. We're not trying to resist what we think we don't want in our lives. But yet it is in our life for a reason. Whether it be a son or a daughter that you're struggling with, or whether it be a job or a boss that you're struggling with, whether it be a relationship that you're struggling with, whatever discord is in your life, it's there to serve you. It's there to grow you. It's there to teach you. So, Vincent van Gogh. So this songwriter, which we're going to hear in a moment, Don McLean, writes this song. He's reading an article about Vincent van Gogh, a documentary. And he gets this idea for a song. And is it okay if I read some of the lyrics before you sing it? You're supposed to go like this. Thank you. Starry, starry night. Starry, starry night. Paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills. Sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and the winter chills and colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you were trying to say to me. How you suffered for your sanity. How you tried to set them free. They would not listen. They did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night. Flaming flowers that brightly blaze. And how did he pick those up and paint them incredibly with bright colors? Swirling clouds in a violet haze reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue. His eyes were china blue. Colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain. Weathered faces lined in pain. Michael talked about pain last week. Are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me. How you suffered for your sanity and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen. They did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. So are we listening now to the message that over 2,000 years ago came to us, that's come to us through Buddha and other teachers and Jesus? Are we listening to the message? Are we hearing? Are our ears ready to hear what they need to hear in order to grow, to evolve, to become all we're created to be? And not, unfortunately, there's one thing you got to let go of, and that's control. You can't, it just doesn't work. The two don't mix. They're like oil and gas. Control and spiritual growth just doesn't make it. So we let go of control, knowing though, see, we're not on our own. Don't make the mistake that Lucifer made. We're not on our own. We have the care and protection of a loving Father, Mother, God that will. And sometimes we don't understand it, but it's always there. That care, that protection, that guidance. All you got to do is ask for it. All you got to do is be open. So I'm going to invite Curtis up. We'll go into meditation and just allow yourself, if you would, to become comfortable in your chair. You can see the screen there that Sue's putting up. It's amazing. It's like we were talking about the universe. Thank you, Sue. And so as we go into this time of meditation, just give up and surrender completely. Just say, here I am, here I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't, but I'm here. And I have ears to listen. And I have feet that can carry me forward, and I have hands that can work. I have a mind that I can use. I have love in my heart. You have love in your heart for this place, for spirit, for everything that you are, for life, for the trees, for the radiant sun, the birds that chirp in the mornings, the quiet lakes, the rain, the thunder, the lightning. It's all before you. So just surrender to it. And invite Spirit into your awareness, into your consciousness. Thank you, Spirit, for being here with me and you to guide us, to love us. Hey, I'm really relieved now that I don't have to do this anymore. You'll show me the way. Thank you for that. Thank you for my brothers and sisters. And I know you're showing their way as well. How sweet it is. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, Thank you. Can we say that together? Thank you. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for all that you are. And so it is. Amen.
With love and gratitude, we activate the law of giving and receiving. As we complete this sacred circle, we affirm that our spiritual community thrives through faith and the generous contributions of all who call it home. Let's take a moment to center our awareness on this truth. As our ushers step forward, let us infuse our offerings with intention and love. To our cherished online family, where are we? Please consider including Unity of Wimberley in your giving. Your support elevates our shared journey. We thank you for the gifts you have sent already and affirm the gifts you are sending now. For all of our giving options, please scan the QR code on the screen or on the back of the chair in front of you. And now, let us offer this affirmation of abundance together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and daffodils, catch the breeze and winter chills, and hours on the snowy linen land. And now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they would not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they did not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, the world was never meant for someone as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds on violent haze, reflecting Vincent's eyes of china blue, and colors changing hue, morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. And now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never will.
All right, with full hearts, let us bless these gifts together. We bless these gifts and the givers with our love and gratitude. All right, next Sunday, June 15th, is Father's Day, and Reverend John will continue his June series with a talk entitled, The Father and I Are One. We hope you can join us. Share Your Bounties Sundays continue. Please check the table in the kitchen for our garden goodies after the service. This is a love offering fundraiser with all proceeds benefiting Unity of Wimberley. Shane Elmore's next full moon breathwork workshop is Wednesday, June 11th from 6 to 8 p.m. The cost is $25 and half of the proceeds will go to Unity of Wimberley. Please scan the QR code in the fireside room or visit the events page of the website to sign up. Today, the monthly prayer chaplains meeting is at 12:15 p.m. in the library. The summer solstice is almost here. Tanya Crenshaw will now share more about the upcoming Festival of Light on Friday, June 20th from 6 to 9.
Hello. Okay, I personally want to invite you to the festival. It's a gathering of the summer solstice. It's a special invitation to shine our light to the fullest. Our festival is an offering at the crossing of the seasons, a time to pause, reflect, and reconnect and with each other, with the Spirit and the light within. We're going to have this festival. It's coming together. It is absolutely amazing. We first have the peaceful and a blessing at the peaceful, and then we'll have some activities. The solstice activities, we'll have 3 of them. We'll have nature journaling, a Mandela practice, wildlife practice with Carly, and then we'll have a kids crafts. And then we're going to have a solstice circle where we're going to have poetry, songwriting, a guided meditation, and some spoken word. And then we're going to have, at the end, is a sound meditation. So bring your drums, your rattles, everything, and we're going to bring the vibration up. And throughout the whole, those are all the scheduled ones, and throughout the whole festival, we're going to have a gallery of creativity, and you can see the creativity here. It's just amazing. It just really lights me. And then we're going to have a picnic area. We'll have an open mic for people to share whatever comes to their heart. And then we have the Labyrinth Walk. It sounds like a lot, but it really is going to flow beautifully. And so it's on June 20th from 6 to 9. So hope to see you there.
Thank you.
And Di is wanting to know any artists that want to share in the gallery, please reach out to Di. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. That sounds absolutely lovely. And yes, Di is looking, if you're looking for more creatives, so please contact Di if you are interested. Next, Jan McGowan is offering a fabulous summer sound bath series beginning on June 28th and repeating once a month for the next 4 months. The session runs 2 hours and is limited to 10 people. A $21 love offering is suggested with half of the proceeds shared with the church. Save the date for a special concert and Sunday service featuring Eddie Watkins Jr. on July 12th and 13th. As we heard already this morning, there will be dancing in the aisles. Tickets for the concert are $25 in advance or $30 at the door. Scan the QR code on the bulletin board or visit the events page on the website to sign up, or consider paying by check to help the church avoid processing fees. For other classes, workshops, and events, please visit our website often and click on the Events tab for more info. We are excited to welcome Linda McQuinn as our newest board member. Linda steps in as our new board secretary. We are so grateful for her willingness to serve our community in this new capacity and know that she's bringing a wealth of knowledge and experience to our leadership team. We also acknowledge Michael Finn as our new board president and Andrea Ballantyne as, they're right in front of me, as our new board vice president. Our prayer request box and gratitude jar are on the fireside room buffet, And if you are visiting today, please consider filling out a blue information card located on the front foyer table so we can send you a welcome packet and help you get connected. As a reminder, Cecilia Timon will be available to pray with you after the service in the library. For our beloved online watchers, if you would like prayer, please email chaplains@unityofwimberley.com, scan the QR code on the screen, or call 512-847-6587. Silent Unity at Unity Village is available 24 hours a day at 800-669-7729. And that brings us to the close of our service. As a reminder, parents, please sign out your children from the YFM room after the service. Now, let's sing in our kids.
You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright.
Now, let's bless these children together. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you just the way you are. And that brings us to the close of our service. Please join us as we pray our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.